We've often heard that masturbation is entirely normal, but to what extent is that true? How many times a day can you engage in it without being deemed addicted? And what if you find it difficult to stop? Let's explore these questions and why you might want to reconsider this seemingly normal activity, which could actually pose a threat to your well-being. Before we dive in, I want to apologize for the dramatic thumbnail, but it's meant to highlight a pressing issue of our time that impacts both young people and adults, potentially diminishing our self-control. In this video, we'll examine the effects on our brain from both a scientific and philosophical perspective and explore what Stoicism can teach us about this behavior. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you stay updated. Let's start by noting that modern medicine clearly recognizes masturbation as completely normal, not just in humans, but also in animals like dogs and other mammals. However, this understanding of masturbation as a normal activity hasn't always been the case. In the past, it was often viewed as immoral, particularly for men, due to concerns that it was unproductive and hindered reproduction. For women, there was a belief that masturbation could lead them to become less interested in men by finding pleasure on their own. Additionally, there were physical concerns that masturbation could cause diseases, leading to widespread discouragement of the practice. Now let's turn to the present. What do we understand about masturbation today, especially in relation to issues like insomnia? It's known that masturbation can actually help induce sleep. The French Institute of Health and Medical Research has found that the male brain deactivates sexual desire after orgasm. Once a man reaches climax, the cerebral cortex, the area responsible for conscious thought, goes into a state of rest. This not only reduces the desire for further sexual activity, but also promotes sleep, which is why many men tend to fall asleep after sexual activity. So what's the catch? Hidden within this benefit lies a potential pitfall. Masturbation triggers the release of dopamine in the brain. This hormone is associated with feelings of pleasure, providing calm, relief from stress, and a sense of reward. Dopamine, the hormone responsible for pleasure, can become so enticing that some individuals develop an addiction. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders includes hypersexuality disorder, which classifies excessive masturbation as part of obsessive-compulsive disorder. This is another vice that can lead to significant mental and relational issues. In many cases, a lack of self-control may lead to becoming a slave to one's own impulses, resulting in seeking relationships with prostitutes, engaging in sex with multiple partners, or, as discussed in a previous video, excessive consumption of pornography. These behaviors are ways in which a dopamine-saturated brain seeks pleasure. It's important to recognize that addiction to masturbation is driven by the chemicals released in the brain. As addiction develops, the brain adapts to the constant release of dopamine by increasingly demanding the same level of stimulation. Your brain starts craving more dopamine to achieve the same pleasure it once provided, causing you to constantly seek new ways to masturbate. This behavior can become extreme when the brain recognizes that dopamine levels are excessively high and begins to block receptors in an effort to curb the overstimulation. As a result, you may engage in the act of masturbation but experience no pleasure, leading to greater frustration. This cycle mirrors behaviors seen in other addictions, such as a smoker who can't quit, someone who overeats to the point of sickness, or an alcoholic. At this point, you might be wondering how Stoicism relates to this issue. The Stoics, including Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, were masters of self-control and wisdom, and they approached pleasure and lust from a unique perspective. They delved into human passions, exploring these themes from the thoughts of Epicurus to Seneca's own intimate reflections. For the Stoics, masturbation was not merely about seeking carnal pleasure, but was seen as a way to test the limits of both body and mind. They viewed it as an exercise in self-awareness and a route to true freedom. According to Stoic philosophy, mastery over worldly passions and pleasures was a path to elevating the human spirit. Epicurus believed that it was not the pursuit of pleasure itself, but rather self-control that marked a virtuous person. In this view, the ability to enjoy pleasure responsibly and in moderation was essential. Understanding and managing our desires can significantly elevate our level of self-awareness. Instead of being enslaved by our impulses, we should strive to master them. As Seneca's philosophical perspective suggests, Stoic reflection on masturbation is not merely about repression, but about profound understanding and self-mastery. This means directing our emotions towards a journey of conscious self-exploration. It's not just about seeking momentary satisfaction, but about comprehending, accepting, and embracing our deepest inclinations. From a Stoic viewpoint, every action has consequences, not only for ourselves, but also for the broader natural order of the universe. When we give in to our most intense desires, such as through uncontrolled masturbation, we impact both ourselves and the world around us. When we lose that harmonious connection with nature, which the Stoics highly value, we become prisoners of our desires, drifting away from true inner serenity. Compulsive masturbation can create an emotional whirlwind, with guilt, shame, and dissatisfaction becoming constant companions. The Stoics teach us to manage our intense emotions through introspection and self-regulation. By consciously facing our emotions, we learn to handle them in a healthy and constructive manner. The Stoic philosophy encourages us to find inner peace within ourselves, emphasizing that true satisfaction comes from self-mastery and the ability to find joy in what is simple and virtuous. Let me share a personal and inspirational story that illustrates this concept. I know someone who once struggled with compulsive masturbation, seeking temporary refuge and pleasure, but facing an emotional storm after each act. By immersing themselves in Stoic teachings and practicing self-control and self-regulation, this person experienced a profound transformation. They learned to confront their desires and emotions consciously, finding genuine joy and self-mastery. Now they live a life of inner peace and authenticity, free from the bondage of fleeting desires. True satisfaction, they discovered, comes from living in alignment with our deepest principles and values. When we give in to transient desires, we lose sight of what we truly value in life. Compulsive masturbation can distance us from our highest aspirations and lead us away from the true happiness found in virtue and inner peace. By practicing meditation and mindfulness, we can cultivate the mental serenity needed to resist temptations and address our emotions in a healthy manner. This compulsion can become a significant barrier to mental calm, dragging us into regret and steering us away from the tranquility that comes with self-control and moderation. My friend, consider what you're doing with your life. Do you think that spending time at home watching videos and seeking pleasure in this way will make you confident and successful? Do you believe that wasting your time and energy on such activities will attract women? Or if you're a woman, that it will attract men? The answer is no. So think wisely. I encourage you to write in the comments, I am a powerful person. I have control over my mind. I choose to do what motivates me and improves me. Thank you for staying with me. If you found this helpful, please like the video and subscribe for more.